Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 8th of February. So with a relatively light data slate this week, I think the markets are going to focus more back on the stimulus package, the 1.9 trillion that Mr. Biden is expecting to get through. There's clear expectations from the markets that that's expected, with the US index markets pushing to new highs at the tail end of last week. I think also the vaccine rollout or rollout program is also likely to come into focus too. So let's take a look at a few markets here that we're keeping an eye on at the beginning of this week. If we have a look at the dollar first of all. Now the dollar has had a lot of resurgence of strength that's come in at the beginning of this year, and we can see that now in the evidence here of dollar Swiss, where we've seen a complete technical reversal of these downward moves, at least for the time being in any case. So if that dollar index is targeting that key 92 level, which is what we're sort of anticipating with our analysis, then we might see again, or expect to see, some continued strength, certainly for the near term in the US dollar markets. Dollar Swiss is one of our picks at the moment, as it's broken through a key technical level here, being that key 9,000 price point, and late last week the market actually slipped back to retest it after a very strong move, as we can see here. So we just come back to these sort of mid time frames. You can see that here on the 8-hour and the 4-hour time frame, markets looking sort of quite strong. We're also sort of come back and found support, key support at that key 9,000 price point, and now the market starting to break to the high side again. Now all of these markets here, dollar related markets, have also moved quite nicely. So we're seeing the strength in the dollar coming through in the dollar yen, as we can see here. Also dollar Sing is also sort of moving very nicely, again pulling back into some very technical levels and bouncing off these. As I say, the Swissy was the pick of our bunch, as it enabled us to be able to get stop placements underneath that technical price point. If we come over to the index markets, and again all of these have done extremely well last week. In fact, if we have a look at the Dow here, okay, if we just come to the higher time frames, we can see that the Dow has now sort of pushed up to new highs here, managing to break out above the highs last week. At the moment, we're seeing a little bit of intraday sort of weakness, as again these markets are looking very, very stretched at this moment in time. So again, it comes down to the 4-hour time frame. We can see that we've got some sort of structure in here. I've got some around these old highs, which is around the 31,115 area, and also then again around that key 31,000 price point here too. Now fair value on this market is a little bit below this, so we could see some sort of slip back into this sort of 132 area. If we do, then we'll be looking at areas of support around these price points below 31,000. The next sort of structure point really is all the way back down here to 30,750, and that's quite a long way to the short side. So we may well sort of find support somewhere around where the market is at the moment, or down into this 31,000 area. And again, I think the bias here and the path of least resistance for the markets clearly is to the long side at the moment. So if we come over to the commodity markets, one that I'm also keeping a close eye on is the silver market, and there's a little bit of information behind this, because if we take a look at this on the higher time frames and take a look at this on the daily, you can see that after the huge amounts of volatility which we sort of experienced over the previous week, the market sort of pulled back into fair value area, pulled back into this $26 point, and now we're starting to find a bit of technical support around here. I think the path of least resistance for this market is clearly to the long side. We're possibly looking at testing that $28 point and then up to that $30 point in the near term as well. Having said that, I think that we've got to be careful with this market, because again, if we just have a look at this from a technical perspective, you can see that we've got a sort of a turnaround starting to form here, but there is a bit of a technical level around 27 189, and you can see that we've got some previous support and resistance around there. So my preference really here is for opportunities once the market has broken above this level and looking for moves up towards the 28 price point. So we got a reasonable size trading window above price there. The other reason why I'm a little bit cautious here with the silver market, just waiting for that extra confirmation, is because of gold. And if we have a look at gold, gold is looking almost opposite at this moment in time. It's looking almost much weaker than the silver market, and this could be if gold doesn't sort of find support around the sort of 1800 level here, then that could weigh on silver, and we could start to see maybe a bit of a consolidation in silver before those moves start to take place. So I'd rather sort of be a little bit patient and wait for the move to confirm before sort of jumping in. So at the moment here is, again, we have a look at gold. Gold is almost sort of like setting up a sort of a technical sort of position here to the short side rather than the long side. So I'm checking to see whether 1800 is going to market's going to find support here. If we do find support, which is what I'm expecting, then we can see some strength in gold, and that's likely to follow through into the silver market. And the trade that we're looking at and the opportunity that we're looking at is more here on that silver market, into that trading window up towards that 28,000 or 28,000 level, or that $28 price point. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on going into the beginning of this week. Just leads me to remind you of the follow-up where we're going to be taking a live look at the markets on Wednesday at 9 o'clock UK time. We're running a live trading stream on YouTube as usual, like we do every Wednesday morning. You're welcome to join. The link to the session is in the description below the video. So I certainly hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you on Wednesday. Bye for now.